Hey man, say man, what it do, man? It's your boy Mr. in the building. All right, I'm gonna jump into today's story, man. So this is part one of, you know what I'm saying, Catch Me If You Can. So boom. This is this takes place right after I graduated high school, you feel me? I'm fresh out, you know what I'm saying? I'm staying with this I'm staying with this chick I'm dating. She just so happened to be a neighborhood crip, you feel me? So I'm staying with her sister and her two kids, you feel me? So you know, I'm hustling, I'm doing my thing, you know what I'm talking about? But shit got slow. So I tell my pops, you know what I'm talking about, like, hey, you know what I'm talking about, hey, you know what I'm talking about, if you know anybody hiring, you know, let me know. You know, nigga don't mind working. You know what I'm saying? I've been working since I was 11, so working and hustling, to me, always went hand in hand, you feel me? And plus, working always helped my hustle, especially since I always sold weeds, you feel me? Having the job made that shit simple. Shit sold co-workers. Didn't have to really do much of nothing here. That shit sold itself, to be honest. So, boom. My pops, you know, he was a mechanic for this car rental company called Avis down here in Texas. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he hollered, I guess he hollered at a few of his people or whatever. And there happened to be this black lady. We're going to call her Miss A. Miss A, had, you know, her and my daddy had worked together for a long ass time, you feel me? And they was getting ready to give her own, you know, franchise branch. So she needed some people to, you know, help start the branch or whatever. So, you know, my daddy told me about it. You know, I would have hollered at her, you know, filled out the application, did everything I was supposed to do. She gave me the job. So it was me, Miss A, this white lady by the name of Miss Brenda, and then it was a little Spanish chick. I can't really remember her name, but we were the first crew to help, you know, open the store. Because, you know what I'm saying, we rented cars, and hold on, y'all, pause for a second.
So you ain't got no little mini black and mild you done threw away somewhere?
Oh, nah, Chief, I just let this one up. I'm doing a story time right now for YouTube, you hear me?
You do YouTube?
Yeah.
You a YouTuber?
Starting off.
Okay. What you do?
Tell stories, you know what I'm talking about. You know, I do the garden over here, so when it's during springtime, you know what I'm talking about, I do videos in the garden and shit.
Okay. Man, I'm a real big fan of Kanika Jenkins. You ever heard of Trey Gang Production?
Say it again.
Trey Gang?
Nah.
T-R-E Gang.
Not really familiar with it.
Man, I want to say I used to listen to him every night before I went to bed, man.
Alright.
He one of my YouTubers, him, and I know you heard of Soul Illuminati.
I can't say I have, G.
Kind of little skinny dude with some braids. He always be talking spiritual, so.
Oh, yeah, I ain't really just too much. I'm kind of careful with who I listen to when it comes to that.
Okay.
G.
Man, hopefully, man, I get to check you out one day, man.
Oh, you gonna be on there, so look out.
I am.
You gonna hear yourself on there, so just check out TNG Mister on YouTube, man.
Say it again.
TNG Mister.
T-N-G.
Mister with a Z. M-I-Z-T-E-R.
TNG Mr.
Yeah.
Z.
Yeah, Mister with a Z. Instead of an S, spell it with a Z.
Oh, Mr. Z.
No, Mister M-I-Z-T-E-R. Spell out the word, but just instead of an S, put a Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So TNG Mister, you'll hear this whole conversation on there. I'm gonna post it. That way you know somebody.
Hey man.
Hey man, that's me in the background, man.
Hey, keep it up, man. I'm sure I encourage you, man, to keep going, man.
All right, man. Be blessed.
All right.
All right, so boom. What was I? So yeah, we the three. You know, we the four that helped start her with the store. You feel me? So everything going cool, you know what I'm talking about? You know, me and the little crip chick, you know, me and the little crip chick, we kicking it, we, you know, we coolin'. Me and the job doing good, you know, my job at the place was to make sure the cars, you know, check the mileage, you know, slight mechanic work, keep them gassed up, you know, keep them clean. You know, that was my gig, you feel me? So 3 months of me working there, you know what I'm saying, me and Miss Brenda, you know what I'm saying, we get cool. You know what I'm talking about? She was, I guess you would say, the store manager. Because Miss A was the owner operator. Miss B, Miss Brenda, you know what I'm talking about, she was, I guess you could say, her you know, the store manager, you feel me? Because the little Spanish chick, all she was doing was basically there to teach me how to run the computers and shit. So, and, you know, I was doing the cars and shit, you know, in the back. So, you know what I'm saying, me and Miss B get pretty cool, you know what I'm talking about? She, you know, after a while, you know, she let me start doing the bank drops and gave me the keys to, you know, getting the safe and shit like that. And so, you know, long story short, me and Miss B started messing around, you feel me? Now, mind you, I'm fresh out of high school. Literally, I'm 18 years old, you know what I'm talking about? Fresh out. But this ain't my first grown woman experience, you feel me? So that wasn't nothing new to me. But, you know, Miss B was probably at the time maybe, I want to say probably like 46, 47, 48, something like that. I know she had about 30 years on me. You know what I'm talking about? She had a daughter, actually, that was my age, we actually went to school together, you feel me? Come to find out. So, boom. You know, me and Miss B kicking it. You know what I'm talking about? We doing our thing at the job, you know what I'm talking about? Since Miss A, she finally got everything running smooth, so she wasn't really there a lot. And then the little Spanish chick went back to the store she was from, so it was really every day, all day. It was just me and Miss B, open and close, you feel me? So, like, obviously, we got close, doing things we should have been doing. You know what I'm talking about? She a married woman. She's a married woman, you know. I got this, you know, chick I'm dealing with at the house. I'm helping take care of her sister, and her 2 nephews. You feel me? So, you know, I'm thinking I'm just on my grown man shit at the time. So, luckily, Michael said luckily, but you know, the Crip chick, you know, that I'm with. I'm trying not to say her name. Sorry, I really ain't trying to put her name out there like that, but. If you're from the A-Leaf and you know me and you knew me at the time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, boom. Her cousin, you know, OG, we can call him OG Pooh for this. For the purposes of the story, you feel me? She got a cousin by the name of OG Pooh. You know, he's 6'0". You know, he the big homie. So, you know what I'm saying? We talking one night and come to find out he had a partner who worked for the same company I worked for. But he worked at the airport, you know what I'm saying? Because when you come in from your flights, you know you rent cars and stuff like that. That was the division he worked for. So he's at the airport, you know what I'm saying, about doing his thing. And, you know, somehow they end up with a connect from the airport. So basically what the plan was, you know what I'm saying, he gonna get the pack at the airport, bring the car to me, and I'm going to take the car and bring the pack to whoever, you know, the pack belonged to. So Miss B, she cool with it. She know the whole play. Because I had to basically let her in on what's going on. So I talked to her about it after me and him kick shit about it, like how everything going to go. So she down for it, you know what I'm talking about? As long as she get her cut, she cool. As long as the cars get back safe, as long as don't nothing go. Because in her mind, she, you know, all I'm doing is, you know, just dropping off a pack and, you know, coming back, you feel me? Ain't no, because everything is already set up, you know what I'm talking about? So, you know, we doing this for maybe like 3-4 months. Everything going good. I'm talking about, nigga, shit lovely. I'm eating, she eating, Pooh eating, you know what I'm talking about? The nigga at the airport eating, we all eating, you feel me? So, just so happened, the Christmas of 2004 here in Houston, it actually snowed, you feel me? So, we end up getting the pack in from the airport. Now, this is the crazy part about that day. My partner Brazewood, that y'all know about, you know what I'm talking about, he came through and he rented a car from us. And before he left, he was like, hey man, if you need a ride home, because you know, my car was messed up at the time. So he was like, hey man, if you need a ride home, I got you. I'll come back and scoop you. You know, so I know the weather bad, so I got you. I'm like, no, I'm straight. Because I knew we had a pack coming in, and I knew we had a car coming, and my plan was just to go and hop in that car, keep it for the night. It's Christmas, do my thing, drop the pack, keep the car for the night, you know, do my thug thizzle, and bring it back in the morning like I always do. So, you know, I tell him that, he's like, all right, cool, but, you know, change your mind, hit me, let me know. So, boom, you know, they go on, and just so happened, my grandmother came that same day to rent a car from me. And she basically hit me with the same line, like, hey, the weather gonna be bad tonight. If you need a ride home, you know, let me know. I'll come back out here and get you. I'm like, nah, you know, same thing. Nah, Granny, I'm good. But I ain't tell her, you know, nothing about the pack or nothing like that. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, the day go on, we closing up. Now, mind you, Miss A had gave Miss B, you know, the day off. So it was me and Miss A that day. And this is how I know, you know what I'm saying, there's a higher power, because there's no way impossible that these three individuals offered me a ride home that day and I turned them down and all this shit ends up happening, you feel me? So, you know, me and Miss B waiting for her dude to get there. She's like, hey, you need a ride? I'm like, nah, once you leave, I'm gonna lock up, you know, I'm gonna dip out. Cause I had to wait Miss A to, you know, I had to wait for Miss A to leave, because once we put the keys in the safe, you know what I'm talking about, you got to put the code in to open the safe up to get the keys back out. So while she was there, I had to drop all the keys into the safe for all the, you know, the cars that be renting out or whatever. So I couldn't leave with her, you know, because if I set the alarm and then come back like 5 minutes later, that's going to look too fucking obvious, you feel me? So I have to grab the keys, set the alarm, and then dip. So boom, she finally leave. I get the car, you know, I'm talking about the pack in the car, you know, I know the routine. You know, everything going to plan. You know what I'm talking about? I get home, you know, get clean, get ready for the festivities, you know, of the day. I drive the car to my grandma's house, drive to my Amy's house, see my people, go drop the pack off. And truth be told, if I wouldn't have been greedy and just would have left that car there that night and waited, you know, later on to, you know, do what I needed to do, or even had Brazewood pick me up and put the pack in his car and, you know, did what I had to, because he'd have been cool with it. He wouldn't have gave a fuck. I'd have had to throw him probably like $50 and he'd have been down with it, you feel me? So, you know, I had to drop the pack off to, you know, where I got to drop it off to. And I'm coming down this street called Kirkwood in Southwest Houston, you feel me? And I hit the brakes. And them motherfuckers, when I tell you, I'm on the floor with the brake, you feel me? But I'm not stopping. Man, I slide smooth into the back of this motherfucking car. And here's the crazy part about it. I'm in a red Ford Taurus, 2004. I hit a silver 2004 Ford Taurus. Sent them motherfuckers shooting across the street. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'd have totaled these motherfucking rental car. And then that's not even the crazier part about it. Once the cars both finally stop moving, I get out the car. The nigga that get out the car happened to be this Spanish dude that I beat up in middle school. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't even remember why we fought, but I don't remember why. I'll come back and tell y'all that story later. But me and him had gotten into it in middle school or whatever. And you know what I'm talking about, you know, we get to, or, you know, he really wasn't mad, you know what I'm talking about. I was like, man, my bad, ice, snow, man, I ain't eating it. He said, whatever. So we called the police. Now, mind you, I'm not thinking that I done something wrong here. My dumb ass, I wait for the cops, fill out the accident report, give them my license and all that, tell them it's a rental car. I call Miss B on the phone. I let her know everything that happened. I say, hey, I'm out here. You know what I'm talking about? I done actually got into an accident. I got the red Taurus. You know what I'm talking about? What you want me to do? She was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. I tell everything like this and that. So she was like, well, I could try to, you know, basically make it to the where, like, it looked like I rented the car and all this and that. So, you know, she explained to me what she possibly could do to help the nigga out. So I'm like, all right, cool. I say, do I need to sit here and wait for a tow truck? She's like, yeah. And I'm sitting there waiting. I'm waiting. Tow truck, they come get the first car. I'm still waiting. And I call my nigga T. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna sit and keep waiting for this motherfucking truck. So we push the car. You know, I call my nigga T, tell him to come help me real quick. He finally get there like in about 10, 15 minutes. He helped me push the car into a parking lot. I call her, tell her where the car, and I said, man, I'm fit to dip. She's like, all right, as long as you're good, you know, I'll talk to you when you get back to work. So I can't remember what day of the week this was. Let's just say it was a Friday, but I ain't going back to work until that Monday, you feel me? So I got like 2 days off, you know, that, you know, Miss A gave me for the holidays. So boom. You know, I ain't getting no phone calls. Ain't nobody, you know, ain't nothing funny going on my days off. Now, I'm thinking that somebody gonna call me and say something about it. Ain't nobody hit me. So I get to work Monday, and it's just Miss B there. You know, that ain't nothing unusual for Miss A not to be there. So, you know, I'm working, I'm doing my thing as normal, and this tall ass white dude come in. You feel me? And it's very obvious, you know, that he was a police officer. But you could tell he probably a detective or a ranger or something like that because, you know, he wasn't in cop uniform. But down here in Texas, you know, a sheriff outside of, you know, his police uniform when you see them. He had the hat, the boots, you know, and somebody and all that. And she was like, you know, I see him and I look at her and she's like, I need to talk to you in the office real quick. I'm like, for what? She's like, just come in the office real quick. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. So I go in the office, you know, and somebody, she was like, we got a problem. I'm like, what? She's like, they charging you with a Grand Theft Auto for that car. I say, what? She said, they charging you with Grand Theft Auto for that car. She said, clock out and go home. I say, so, wait, how? She's like, because you didn't have permission to use that car. You stole that car, basically in their eyes, and then crashed it. And then you crashed another car. So with the amount of damage and all that that's going on, you know, and somebody came out basically to a felony and they charging you with Grand Theft Auto. When I tell y'all my motherfucking heart dropped down in my motherfucking shoes, man. I'm looking at her and then the tall white dude, he walks into the office. I'm like, so am I going to jail now? He was like, nah, but they are charging you. And I'm just here to make sure that you don't do anything, you know, that you might regret later on. I'm like, oh, you mean like tearing up this place or something like that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not gonna do none of that, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and shake the spot down. So I get my backpack and shit. I get to walking down the street. I ain't even think to call nobody. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just walking. And at the time, the place I was working at was off the side of, you know, this big-ass freeway. So I'm walking down the side of the freeway. I'm fucked up in the head, you feel me? I'm like, man, what the fuck do I do next? So, you know, I call my nigga Brazewood to come get me. You know, we get back to the house. I explain to everybody what's going on, what's happening, you know. So fast forward a couple of, I'm going to say maybe about maybe a week and a half went by before I had heard anything. You know, my pops, you know, I felt bad because he worked for the company. You know, they talking about, you know, the shit I done, like I'm just some grand criminal or some shit, you feel me? So I'm really feeling bad for Pop, you know what I'm talking about? Because I know they up there talking all kind of cash shit, you know what I'm saying? So I go to my mama's house one day, and, you know, I'm just sitting there talking to her, you know, and the phone ring. And whoever on the phone, I hear them say, hey, it's Mr. Marquis Jones there. Man, I just happened to look up at my mama like, what the fuck? Because I mind you, I haven't been living with my mama for maybe about, 2-3 years now. So shit, nobody be really calling that for me, especially, you know, calling them by my government name, you feel me? So I'm like, yeah, so before I can really say anything to her, she said, yeah, he right here, and hands me the phone. I'm like, hello? It's like, hey, Mr. Jones, are you such and such? I'm like, yeah. It's like, are you home? I'm like, well, obviously, y'all. He said, okay, well, thank you. You know, that's all we need to know. And I looked at my mama. I'm like, hold on a second. So I look out the window. Now, mind you, in the apartment complex we all stayed in, because I stayed in the same complex as my mama. I just stayed around the corner from where she lived. So where her apartment was, we lived in this place called the Mint. It's just one big ass street that run through this complex called Rodeo Square. It's just one street. There's just one street. So we live on the curve. From one end of the curve to the other end of the curve, it's like 6-7 police cars. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm really thinking to myself, I'm like, man, fuck, let me try to hurry and get up out. Maybe they ain't got out the cars yet or whatever. I'm like, let me try to hurry and get the fuck up out of here. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, mama, it's a bunch of police outside. So she grabbed her bags and shit. I'm like, it's too late for all this. Let me try to hurry and get the fuck up out your house. I opened the front door. It's five officers standing at the door. And one of them got a picture of me like this. Mr. Jones? Are you Marquis Jones? I'm like, obviously, sir. You got the picture of me. You know it's me. Ain't nothing I can do, nigga, because she stayed upstairs, and I'm like, they had the stairs blocked off, so I'm like, nigga, I can't run. Man, when I tell you that shit was so surreal, as they cuffing me and walking me down the stairs, all I'm picturing in my mind is that scene from Boys in the Hood with Doughboy. Because every time I see that, I'm like, they really had all these police for a little nigga that stole the candy bar? But man, when I tell you these motherfuckers had so many cops out there, I felt like I had murdered somebody. Man, that shit was crazy. But yeah, man. So, they get me to county or whatever, I get booked in. So I go through the whole booking process, man, and while I'm in the holding tank to get ready, to get to the next thing. Because when you first come into county jail out here, they fingerprint you, they're going to put you through the little scanner, and it's a holding tank they sit you in before they just move you from fucking tank to tank. So I'm in the holding tank. And when I'm in this fucking holding tank, it's a drunk Indian man laying, because they got like these fucking cement slabs along the side of the walls. And it's this Indian dude laying on the bench asleep. And this, it's people on the, you can tell they probably homeless, dope fiends or whatever coming down. So, and it's this older white gentleman on the floor, like right under him sleep. This nigga turns over in his sleep, and I'm talking about projectile vomits all on top of this man. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Mind you, this technically is my first time ever being locked up right then and there. I had never been to county and none of this shit. So my first, and then it's cold as fuck in there, and then when they got me, this the fucked up part about it. When they got me, it was probably around, it was, sometime in the afternoon. So when I went to my mama's house, all the fuck I had on was some basketball shorts, a white t-shirt, and some flip-flops. Man, I'm in there freezing my motherfucking ass off, because in county, they keep it cold in a bitch. I'm in that hole, tucked in my shirt, rocking back and forth, trying to stay warm. This nigga that threw up on this nigga, the white dude get up like, oh my fucking God. But when he get up, he end up stepping on some little Mexican dude. And while he trying to get the puke off of him, the little Spanish dude get up like, man, what the fuck you step on me for? He's like, man, the fucker threw up on me. He's like, I don't give a fuck about that. And I'm talking about the little Spanish dude get to throwing them hoes. I'm talking about he start mopping this nigga. I'm talking about he hit him with the meat, and I'm talking about, but the white dude, the older white dude is so fucked up because he got the puke is all in his hair. So every time the little Spanish dude hit him, his hair is hitting him in the face and the puke blinding him. And I'm sitting here watching this shit like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, what the fuck did I just do to my life? Like, they charging me with Grand Theft Auto. I asked the officer, somebody on the way to the jail, like, hey, man, like, what does this shit carry? That nigga looked at me and say, man, shit, it can go from anywhere from 5 to 10. I say 5 to 10. I say, but this is my first time ever doing something. He's like, man, that's just really all on the judge and how to, because, I'm talking about it's money, it's other shit involved, you feel me? So it wasn't like I just stole the car and got caught. It's like, shit, I wrecked the car, I hid the shit, somebody trying to explain this shit to me while we was in the car, and I'm just thinking about all this while I'm in this fucking holding cell. So finally, maybe after about 2-3 hours of being in that first little holding cell, freezing my fucking nuts off, they come get us and move us to the next tank where the phones are. So I finally get on the phone. I call B. I say, man, what the fuck we gonna do? Like, how the fuck, like, I didn't steal that car. What was going on. It's like, I basically, like, had permission, but didn't have permissions. Like, I didn't have what you would call proper permission, but, like, you knew I was gonna have that car, you feel me? And this lady told me over the phone, she was like, honestly, at this point, there's nothing I can do to help you. I can't get involved in this. As far as I know, you stole that car. I'm married, I got kids to think about, and there's nothing I can do to help you. And she hung up the phone on me, y'all. Yeah. Stay tuned for the next part, man.
Sliding up the highway with my old goon on the seat. Top flow sessions, puffing volume, this some heat. Every time we pop out, it's a movie. Peep the scene, peep the scene. Super clean. Sliding up the highway with my old goon on the seat. Top flow sessions, puffing volume, this some heat. Every time we pop out, it's a movie. Peep the scene, peep the scene. Super clean.